Yeah, the joints jumping inside Bramlage Coliseum in Manhattan, Kansas, and with good reason. We're a couple of weeks away from the end of the conference season, and their team's got a chance for first place. About the great job Bruce Weber's doing as we go out throughout the evening. One thing that he's been able to do is start the same lineup most of the time. Rodriguez, Spradling, Magruder. Then Southwell coming in has really given him a spark. Enriquez has been in and out, but in lately. And Scott Drew doing another terrific job in his 10th year with Baylor. And Austin is the newcomer to that group as a freshman. And as you can see, we're underway. Baylor in the green and Kansas State in the white trimmed in purple. John Higgins, Tom Eads, and Randy Heimerman are the officials. And Magruder, right here, number 22, has been on fire for the Wildcats in the last few games. And so has Rodriguez shooting. Now Southwell and Rodriguez. And Magruder coming off a screen. And there are actually statistics to show that he does that almost as much as anyone in the country. Come off screens to get his points. Now Walton. And watch Heslop shooting threes. He's started to pick that up. Jefferson. And Corey Jefferson may be the biggest added attraction to this Baylor lineup, Bob.
Yeah, that's what makes them so tough to defend. I mean, you're absolutely right. He's come in and added so much to the equation, averaging 12 points and over 8 rebounds a game.
This one should be at a tremendous competitive pace all night. Enriquez. And Rodriguez runs to the loose ball. And Magruder.
That's got to make Bruce Weber happy, though. They've got second chances on both of their first two possessions. And he talked to us today about the importance of rebounding. Just in general, that's his philosophy, but certainly against his Baylor team.
Just underway in Manhattan. Walton.
Heslop off that obstacle course on the baseline. Well defended that time, though.
Austin. Yeah, he's got a lot of ways to hurt you.
I mean, so does the team. You're so busy chasing Heslop, then they throw it inside Austin, who's a almost 14-point a game scorer. I mean, they do have a lot of weapons.
Magruder, that time in the low block from Spradling.
It's so important for so many reasons, obviously, to any team to shoot a good percentage, but K-State, because it won't let Baylor get that transition game going, too, which is another thing that Bruce Weber is so concerned about.
Now Jackson, the preseason pick for Player of the Year in the Big 12. Look at Austin.
Not that time, though.
No, but that aggressiveness, I think they like seeing that out of him. You see what he's done in the last 5 years, and I'm not sure that he really gets quite the attention and credit he deserves. This is an Elite 8 team in 2 of the last 3 years, and I'm telling you, they could do it again.
And there's only 6 teams in the country that have done that. But boy, Kansas State is dialed in early here. Talking about shooting a good percentage.
Big collision between Rodriguez and Jefferson.
Well, we gave up, we thought were important statistical things to pay attention to as you take a look at that replay, and beautiful execution, knocks down the shot. But Scott Drew told us that we can't turn the ball over. That's the first thing he talked about. They've turned it over the last 2 possessions now.
It is the one thing they haven't done well, and it has really contributed to a 3-game losing streak. They've won their last 2 now. Look at Magruder again.
Oh, he should come down and catch that one. He's got enough room. You try to make a circus shot. You're 2 feet from the basket. Catch it, power it back up.
Home-standing Wildcats by 3. Pierre Jackson.
Oh, beautiful pass.
Pretty good look. He'll do a little bit of that on you now.
Made that look like a stroll in the park.
Yeah, that is what he does. Now Rodriguez. They harass Spradling. Southwell into Enriquez. And Jefferson's presence slowed him down. And Rodriguez is ready for him.
Well, that's something to keep an eye on, certainly all game long. As these teams, when we went to their walkthroughs, they are prepared for half-court sets. But when you get an offensive rebound, Brad, that's when you'll get threes in the confusion.
Austin very comfortable out there, but Magruder bothered him. Jackson to Jefferson. Fitting for President's Day coming up on Monday.
He might have been better served kicking that one out, though.
Southwell.
Here comes the transition. Good job, though. A lot of white shirts back waiting for Jackson as he crossed the timeline.
Good defense, and Jackson fortunate not to travel with that. They made him pay for fighting through it. Walton. It's Enriquez coming away with it for Kansas State.
Keeping them off that offensive glass early here.
And that is huge because Baylor is the #1 rebounding team in the league. #1 in rebounding and #1 in defense.
Well, Sperling and Heslop are like mirror images of what they're doing at the offensive end. It's just watch them run off obstacle courses every possession.
This is Magruder. Good defense by Walton.
Well,
really good defense. He almost palmed the ball. He tried.
He is one of only 2 players with over 200 or more steals in the history of the program there. Oh, by the way, we mentioned him like 4th of all the guys we're talking about. He's got 200+ steals and 400+ assists.
That's a good team. Jackson, look at him.
Stish.
Look, see, we talked about this, you and I, a couple of weeks ago. That should be an assist for Jackson.
It should be. Exactly right. We're going to lobby you and I.
Terrific start to the pace of this game. 1 assist tonight, and he should have 2.
Well, that's the rule we hate so much. There's the one he does get. The terrific pass. Jefferson slams it down, and then he gets inside, makes the pass on this last play where his teammate gets fouled. And if he makes free throws, he gets nothing for that. That's, you're really working me up about that. That really angers me.
Well,
Because technically, if he makes these free throws, he does more good for his team than if the guy just made the dunk. They get points and they get a foul on the opposition.
Just saying. Just saying. No, he's really good, and he's taken over from the time he walked on campus. He knew he had to be a leader, but he's even grown. He keeps growing into that. Now Jefferson. You can see his numbers, what he's done this year with the minutes that he's gotten.
You know, he's another guy that's a kind of a throwback to, remember when guys used to wait their turn at good programs? You know,
Yeah,
I mean, that's,
I actually do, yes.
you and I remember that.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful thing to see. He had some pretty good players in this program. He was waiting for his opportunity, and now he's had it, and he's ready for it.
And he really effectively kind of stepped into the place that Quincy Acey held. And Acey was just such a tremendous player for Baylor. Kind of guy you really like to see do well, and Jefferson has taken up some of that slack. So we have some subs in. This is Nino Williams. Thomas Gibson is in, number 42 in the post. Both for Kansas State. Williams fighting for it with Jefferson. Rugby being played. There's a scrum. And it'll go Baylor's way on the possession arrow.
Still, though, it looks like the message received for Bruce Weber's guys. They are making every rebound life and death, which, frankly, this game could hinge on that against Baylor. So that's probably the right way to approach it.
A couple of new faces for Baylor. You'll see in a minute. Number 1 back there in the backcourt. And a guard is L.J. Rose, the son of Lyndon Rose, who had a great career at the University of Houston. And this big brute, number 2, setting the screen, Corey Gathers. And he is just about fun to watch. Walton. Uh-oh. Nicely anticipated by Nino Williams, the sophomore from St. Louis.
There's the bugaboo again. They're turning the ball over.
That's what gets Baylor. Here's Gibson. And Jefferson cleans it.
Here's the transition game.
Gary Franklin.
And they got him chasing.
Walton. Jefferson had that rebound almost before it came down, and Gathers is going to get himself to the line.
Now you can see why Bruce Weber is so concerned. In that transition was everything bad that can happen to his team. They gave up a wide open three in the corner. They gave up a third chance opportunity, and they drew a foul. So you can see why he was so preoccupied with talking about transition, starting their defense.
Gathers has just been, he's been really coming on. Only a 49% foul shooter for the year, but getting better and better. And now subs come back. You can see the movement behind him. Jackson is back in the game for Baylor. Jefferson and Walton are out. Austin came back. Rodriguez is back for Kansas State. Spradling sat down for the first time. And Gathers to try to tie the game. I don't know how many teams, Bob, have 3 or 4 quality big men the way Baylor does. You put that with a point guard like Jackson, you get into March. I think that's a recipe for advancement.
They've got 3 of the top 4 offensive rebounders in the league on the same team here. That tells you something.
Now Magruder working with Martavius Irving, the senior, number 3. He's giving him a big spark, and he effectively gives them 2 point guards in the lineup together. Williams. 5 to shoot for Rodriguez. Williams will. And Gathers a rebound.
Baylor has tightened up the defense. The looks are much more challenging now. And one and done's getting them out of there.
Nice move by Austin.
They're going to count it.
They are going to count it. And they're going to give the foul to Nino Williams at K-State.
Again, you can see these last 2 possessions in transition, Baylor's got Kansas State knocked back on their heels.
Austin, I don't know if he weighs 120 pounds. He weighs more than 120 pounds.
I can vouch for that. He does weigh more than 120.
Yeah, but not much.
No, you're right.
But I'll tell you, he's stronger than he looks.
Well, that's not hard because he doesn't look that strong. But a terrific player, as you pointed out, and so versatile. You saw him put it to the deck. Oh, that's a nice
great look by Rodriguez, huh? That'll make it easier for the big fellas.
These teams will pass the ball. Their assist-to-turnover ratio is among the best in the country, both of them. Well over the 1.0, 1.3 each, which is a very, very good number.
Franklin.
There's another one.
Wow, Franklin to Gathers.
Baylor second in assists. Kansas State first in assists. And if you like passing, you'll enjoy watching this game. And it is contagious. You know what? If you don't pass it on these teams, you'll stand out because everybody else is unselfish.
Forces you to play well without the ball, or at least encourages it. Magruder.
Look at this guy.
Oh, yeah.
How quick is he?
Franklin, little head fake. Now Rodriguez.
What did Bruce Weber say today? Fellas, you let him get a running start. He's faster than a road runner.
It was something like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was some other words in there, but I paraphrased for television purposes.
And he was right.
Yes, he is.
Rodriguez, nice drop, and then Gibson dropped the ball.
Ooh, that's got to be a foul. Yeah, it is.
Foul will be on Rose, but we have got what we expected at this point in the first half. Sure that she couldn't be drafted by an NBA team. I'm not saying she could play in the NBA, but I'm saying she's a different player.
You know, I did a game down there last year, and the discussion is she goes in the weight room regularly and holds her own in the weight workouts with the guys. Quick comment, if I can, too, because that play for Kay is for Kay Yao, who, of course, was such a dear friend of my brother Jim when they were at NC State together.
And the V Foundation is tied in.
Huge help to us with the V Foundation. She is just she was an inspiring woman, and that's a great initiative. Very, very proud to have known Kay Yao the way we did at the V Foundation.
So Baylor by 2.
Well, I thought he was going to get a shot off there. They set that double screen opposite, looking to get Magruder a look, but good patience.
Irving took it, and look at Gathers. He's just got about everything you want in a rebounder. Look at Jackson.
My goodness. That is impossible to defend, really. Literally, if he has some space, there's nobody quick enough to cut him off. I'll tell you, Kansas State, we talked about it at the top, they better shoot a good percentage, because when they don't, they're getting knocked on their heels by this Baylor transition game.
Well, that'll help. 2 threes for Rodriguez. He's been playing really well the last half dozen games. That has boosted Kansas State.
The last 8. He's got 48 assists to just 14 turnovers and scoring as well.
1-point game. I just have a feeling it's going to be like this all night.
That'd be fine with us.
Knocked away from Jackson. Franklin's got it. Austin, for the second time, takes an extra step. It's a learning curve. And Scott Drew, I talked to him last week about Austin, and now, you know, they get these guys for less time. He may have Austin for 1 year. And I asked him, do you coach them differently when you know you might only have them for a year? He said that there are a few things that you do that maybe you work on fewer things.
Right. Keep it simpler. Master a few things, because you know you're right. It's going to be a limited amount of time.
The next coach can
let that guy worry about it. Right.
Rodriguez. And Austin, another rebound. And Jackson. Walton to Jefferson. Good block. Good block. Ball movement really good by Baylor. Spradling. Look at Jefferson again. And a held ball. Wow. And it's going K-State's way.
I think they're going to take a look and see if there was contact. They're going to go to the monitor, see if he hit him as he turned. As you got to look right there. Jefferson turned, and as he turned, Rodriguez went to the deck. They'll watch it.
Jefferson was the most surprised guy in the house.
Here it is again. Watch here. He's protecting the ball. He's tied up there, and then he turns. I can't tell from that. Can you, Brad?
Well, it looked to me like Rodriguez had mostly his arm. And then my question would be, does the elbow of Jefferson come into play?
Well, that's what they're looking at. They want to see if he hits him right there with the elbow. If he does, it's going to be a flagrant. That's the rule. I mean, it's not open to debate. You turn with your elbow and you hit somebody in the head, but I don't know if he hits him there.
I don't either. And the funny thing is, I don't think Rodriguez ever had the ball. I think he had his jersey in one hand and his arm in the other.
Well, so he certainly might have gotten a break there, but that's going to be very, very difficult to tell there, I think. They may have watched this a number of times.
Watch that left elbow of Jefferson, number 34.
Now, you're right. He's got him across the arm, and he's got the hand underneath the jersey. And you're right about that first part, but that's not what they're looking at. Obviously, that's done. The question is, does he catch him that elbow for a flagrant foul?
And it's funny because by the letter of the law, that might be flagrant, and yet the definition of the word, I mean,
I don't like that term. I understand why they did it to get in sync with what the NBA uses, but I think it's confused fans who still don't completely understand.
There's a player safety question, and you want to take extreme measures to assure the safety of the players. When you say the word flagrant, it sounds like you're implying
intent of some sort.
And frankly, there didn't seem to be any.
And you know what it is, and this was one of the things they talked about when the rule came into being. That turn right there, I don't know. Rodriguez either has got a future in Hollywood or he got hit there, and I'm not implying he did get hit. I can tell from that. But this is what people said when you put the rule in. You've got a guy who gets the rebound who's 6'9", and a guy who's being challenged at 5'11". If Rodriguez is just 3 or 4 inches smaller, I mean, taller, he's going to hit him in the shoulder and not get a flagrant foul or the arm. But we are going to get word here, and I think what he said, tried to read John Higgins' lips, I think he said couldn't tell, and that's what, and if you can't tell, you can't call it, so it'll just be a held ball and possession error to Kansas State.
So I think they did it right.
Yeah, I think so too.
Randy Heimerman then looked over to the clock operator and said, shot clock, I don't know. Tom Eads looked over at you and he said,
couldn't tell. That's exactly what he said.
So they did the right thing. Although I'm not sure it was really a held ball, but that's what they called. It's a break for the Wildcats. You see the lineup on the floor for Baylor.
Southwell, 41% three-point shooter. Looked like he came off that stagger screen on the baseline, had a chance to get one away there.
K-State has Omari Lawrence in the game for the first time, and Southwell has his second three.
And he should be running by saying, you do the announcing, I'll do the playing. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to get a better look if I have some patience. His second three, as you said, and it was a better look.
Yeah. Uh-oh, that one got away from Austin, but a little kick by Southwell. 41% for Southwell from the three-point line for the year.
Take a look here. Beautiful job. Give Rodriguez credit as well. Simple little bounce pass. If he doesn't put that, it's not only the type of pass, it's the timing on the pass. Shooter's not going to get it off.
Cats by 2. Austin, Jackson. Haslip hadn't had any kind of a look at a three yet. Jackson, look at that look. Good block, Enriquez.
Oh, that's what he does, of course. Enriquez leading shot blocker on the team. Another one for Southwell.
You said they better shoot well. They're shooting well, and timeout Baylor.
Oh, what a play at the other end, though. Enriquez's block is what started that whole thing.
And it never gets the attention of that the three does, but that's what makes it possible, because this is going to be 2 points.
And then they're going to set their defense. You're going to have nothing. And he jumped a little soon, actually, but hung in the air, got the clean block, and then Southwell, who's feeling it. That's his third three. 5 threes already for Kansas State. They're winning that battle 5-zip.
That is the big reason why Kansas State is up by 5 right now. Rivalry week presented by Wendy's continues with ACC Sunday night basketball, part of rivalry week with the Red Hot Hurricane. The Red Hot Hurricanes, led by Durant Scott, taking on the Clemson Tigers. Coverage begins with ACC Sunday night basketball pregame at 5:30 Eastern. Then the third-ranked Miami Hurricane against Clemson at 6 on ESPNU, live on Watch ESPN. Well, Scott Drew's team is not going to go 0 for 3 for the night. I don't believe.
And they got that streak going of 681 consecutive games where they've made a three. So if they do, it'll be unusual. And there's that bugaboo again.
Another turnover. I tell you what, you know what's happening? Spradling is doing a really, really good job on Haslip.
Yes, he is. He has not gotten hung up in those screens.
Jefferson said, no, not here.
I can block some too, you know.
Yeah, we're just getting going. Keep an eye on that guy on the left there. He's gonna find a way to get heated up from 3. Rivalry week presented by Wendy's, and we've got a good one, and Scott Drew is imploring his team on that three-point defense. That's really the reason why they're down by 5, and we were talking during the break, Bob Delvano, about segment scoring, and you got a great example of why the score is what it is right now.
Well, I mean, I just am a big believer it tells a good story of the game. The segments, of course, are between the media timeouts. First segment of the game, Kansas State won by 4. Second segment, they lost by 6. Third segment, they won by 7. And what that's telling you is, obviously, when they're making shots, they're not vulnerable in transition, and they're able to set that defense up and stop the Bears. When they miss, they have runs put on them, and that's that second segment where Baylor took the lead. They've got to shoot a good percentage.
And Baylor has got to stay in this game, because anybody could still win this Big 12. Kansas probably still the favorite, but Scott Drew's team, which lost 3 in a row, now has won 2 in a row, and they've got a tough road coming up. and not just on the road. So this is a big one for them. Kansas State, we'll look at the schedules later. Kansas State might have the easiest, if anything's easy, schedule of all the Big 12 contenders going the rest of the way. See, Baylor, one of the hardest.
Oh, my goodness. That looked like a foul, didn't it?
I agree. But look at again, it's Baylor on the glass.
And in transition, although
Franklin, a ball handling error, and tied up by Omari Lawrence, junior from the Bronx. Held ball is called.
This is off the rebound. Look at the push there, the hold off by Jefferson on a great defensive play by Rodriguez. And then they almost got the steal anyway in the half court thanks to Lawrence's good defense.
That's a physical mismatch, and that's twice now that they've kind of come head to head or elbow to head. And now we've got a foul called.
Well, you were talking about what a good job that he's been doing chasing, Spradling's been doing chasing Heslip, at that time a little too handsy, according to John Higgins.
First foul on Spradling, fourth on the Wildcats. Jackson.
Boy, he's getting physical in there.
Yeah, but Gathers couldn't hold the ball. Look at the outlet, Rodriguez. Biggest lead of the game, and another Baylor turnover. It is their bugaboo.
6-2, the advantage for Kansas State in turnovers right now. That's really something that Scott Drew's team can't afford to do, get impatient when Kansas State made a couple of shots there. Settle back in, run your offense.
Southwell. Gathers out on him. That'll make you think twice. Southwell.
That's all right. He's got three. Let him pull the trigger once. Heat check there.
Great look inside by Jackson, and Southwell with the hands to deflect the pass.
Well, as great as he is, and Jackson is great, everything they say about him, he is great, but he does also lead the conference in turnovers, and that might have been an example. That's the wrong choice pass there. You're going to throw it in there. You've either got to bounce it in there or lob it in there. You try and just snap it through. Somebody's going to get a hand on it, just as they did. Lucky it wasn't a turnover.
Walton checking in for Franklin.
And the streak continues.
I told you, Heslip would get
Wasn't exactly going on a limb, dude. I mean, the guy, that's what he does.
I know.
He makes things.
I know. That's why I said it. Not as dumb as I look, thank goodness.
682 straight games now where the Bears have made it through.
Enriquez. Rodriguez almost had it get away. Spradling with a teardrop.
He does much the same thing as Heslip does running off those stagger screens. He curls a lot more. Yes. That time got in the lane.
This one's going to be on Angel Rodriguez, his first, team's fifth.
Heslip off the baseline out of bounds play. Nice job. He fakes setting the screen at the top and then comes off the double screen, goes to the corner, and that quick release.
And since really 10 days ago in the middle of the Oklahoma State game that they lost in overtime, he has heated up from three-point range. He's taken more.
What a play by Rodriguez.
Wow. Southwell stripped by Walton. What a terrific play by Rodriguez is right.
And what a good play in transition that time by Walton as well. And they just showed the replay, and the fans wish they had a vote. It is again. Oh, I don't know about that. It's a pretty good play.
I thought it was a good block by Walton. K-State by 6. Spradling. Magruder's been pretty quiet. There's 4 points.
flag. Oh, it was close.
They're making him work.
They pick up the slack now. Rodriguez has 8. Southwell's got 9, so Southwell only averages 7.9 a game. Rodriguez off the high ball screen.
And Jackson called for the foul. His first. And believe it or not, only the second team foul on the Baylor Bears this deep into the first half.
He's an interesting, Rodriguez is interesting. In the half court, he likes to go left. In the open court, he likes to go right. I'm not sure why that is, but it's a trait he has. You saw right there, he went off the screen left.
Magruder. Ooh, Enriquez almost missed that one, but the key word is almost. Great look by Magruder. I thought he was going to take that shot.
6 different Wildcat to score in this first half.
Jackson. Uh-oh.
Pretty good answer.
Back to 5.
36% three-point shooter. You see why he's so tough to guard. To have that kind of speed and that kind of range, it's not fair.
Well, the balance is his height.
Okay. You can't have it completely everything.
Can't have everything. Rodriguez put his whole body into that one. Another rebound for Gathers.
Here again, danger. Watch them in transition.
Good job by Magruder on Walton. It's way more than they really want Walton to do offensively, but he made it pay.
Again, though, in transition. Well, you're right. It wasn't exactly off the blackboard, but in transition, they got a good look at the bucket.
Enriquez now spraddling. He can do that. He can do that all night long.
Yeah, but you know what? The pass that gets nothing in the box score is Enriquez's pass to start it.
Correct.
If he doesn't make that kick-out pass from deep on the baseline, they don't get that look. That's a terrific pass from deep in the post.
Yep, that's why it's a team game. Jackson. Boy, I tell you, it's Enriquez again. He's making plays on both ends.
Straight up that time, avoided the foul. Good ball movement.
Magruder would have had the and one. Instead, we'll just get the foul on Heslip. Just watch number 21 in the white shirt. He's doing a lot. Thank you very much, and we do have a good one here in Manhattan in the Little Apple. And one of the reasons that Kansas State is up by 6 is what they have done outside the three-point line.
There's no question. That's where they've got the decided advantage. You see Rodriguez there. Nice job spacing the floor. And then a beautiful pass from Rodriguez to Southwell. Southwell's got 3 threes. There's another one right there from the top. They've made 6 in the ball game and just 2 for the Baylor Bears. So that is a big, big difference, as is the turnover. 7-2.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 things that have really gone the home team's way.
Kansas State has made more three-pointers than Baylor has attempted. And those turnovers, 7-2, as Bob just told you, that is what undoes Baylor. And it's really about the only thing, but they have not been able to get that fixed. Magruder with 4 points, 5 points. And maybe one of the reasons that Kansas State's playing well, Jason King, is because they had a pretty intense practice yesterday.
As Rodney Magruder may be a quiet guy, but no one will ever mistake his leadership. Yesterday, Bruce Weber, fed up with the way his team was practicing, tried to kick him out of the gym, told him to go home. Magruder sat there and said, no, guys, we're not going to go anywhere. We're finishing this practice off on a high note. That's what they did, and obviously it's paying off today.
Jackson got mugged, or rather Walton, beg your pardon. And the foul is on Magruder, his first. And Jason, you're so right. And Bob, what folks around the Kansas State program say is that it shows growth in Magruder, and I think it's something that Bruce Weber really liked seeing, was his senior step forward and play really a leadership role.
That is one of the things, and it's really the Kentucky syndrome, because the national championship and their ability to be so good with one and dones, we forget the importance of senior leadership. Even on that Kentucky team last year, where Darius Miller was a great presence, and that's what you saw in yesterday's practice for Kansas State. It still is the same as it's ever been. You need the experienced players to give you leadership.
See Butler.
Absolutely. Florida.
See Florida, right. Gathers could not hold that. Gathers, look at the look on his face. Are you saying I didn't get hit from behind? Are you really trying to tell me that?
Well, that's like a turnover when you go to the line and miss two, as they did right there. So Kansas State getting a little separation here for the end of the half.
Spradling, speaking of separation, Gibson's screen gave him room to build a house.
Oh, Scott Drew, we watched the walkthrough today. They went through that, threw his hands up in disbelief. You can't let him come off that screen and shoot that shot. Look at Rodriguez. He's unbelievable.
He's everywhere, isn't he?
Leads them in steals, and he just gets a hand on everything.
Magruder is clearly the best player on the home team. But what Rodriguez has done lately and Southwell has done over the last couple of months transformed this team. Ten-point lead, biggest it's been.
Well, the first 12 field goals Kansas State made tonight, too, they had 10 assists, Brad. This is what we're talking about. Ability and willingness to share the ball.
Jackson with a move got him free. Magruder with the rebound. Look at Rodriguez. Look at that penetration. That is a point guard, boys and girls.
Going left in the half court, going to make you pay. Here he comes again. Oh, he's got a steal from the back.
Baylor looks a little befuddled at the moment. And Walton will go to the line again.
Watch here. They make him slow down in the half court. Likes to go left. Little, just a hint that he's going to go right. Gets Jefferson to buy into it. Continues on to his left and then finishes in. All of a sudden, how did we get here? 12-point lead.
We got here by the turnovers and the relentless defense and by those 10 assists. Walton, they fouled the right guy. Walton, although he is 75% for the year, missed those two a moment ago. And that's in a 1-and-1 situation there.
So that's essentially, as we've said, creating two turnovers there for opportunities. And that is unusual. He's a good free throw shooter.
The team fouls are 7 against K-State and 4 against Baylor. So keep that in mind. The Bears have a couple to give. Look at Rodriguez.
Left again. Oh, almost got to the dish.
Walton all the way.
He was mad about those free throws.
You think? Probably wasn't the only one.
I'm just going to go all the way to the basket and get a layup. I don't need no sneaking free throws. Good
Probably wasn't the only one.
Good finish that time.
Great pick and roll. You know, Gibson will get the basket. I'm not sure Jefferson didn't tip it in.
Boy, they're really having trouble, though, with Spradling coming off that curl and a little handoff. And they spent a lot of time at walkthrough today going through that.
Well, now that is something that they didn't expect.
Just a 26% three-point shooter. He's taking his missed free throws as a motivational tool.
Only the third three-point basket that Baylor has made, and Bruce Weber wants to talk about these last 30 seconds. Yeah, he is still mad. Look at him.
Fine. You know what? I'd tell him to miss a free throw if it's going to make the next 5 minutes like that. He's a man on a mission right now.
We talked before about the importance of this game for Baylor as well as K-State, but we showed you this at the top of the evening. Look at again the standings. Oklahoma State wins today. Kansas going to get underway a little bit later. So you can see Kansas State and Baylor, I mean, theoretically, one of them could be in first place in a week.
Well, the other thing about this, Brad, is the home team in this league, as of start of play today, had won 35 of the 55 home games they played. So this is like tennis for Bruce Weber's team. He needs to hold serve here today. He really needs to try and find a way to get that home win.
You know, Rodriguez, did you see him just shake his head there a minute ago just as we came back onto the floor? And to see him, he's still rubbing his jaw. That bump he took from Jefferson earlier.
Might have got him. Yeah, well, they couldn't tell when they looked at the replay.
Two-second gap between the shot clock and the game clock. Well, this is physical. Walton and Rodriguez out there. Rodriguez could not get free. 5 to shoot.
Yes, time.
Walton's got time.
Oh, boy, got it all the way to the rim.
Well, I'm not sure that some of us expected a 9-point gap at halftime. But Kansas State has pretty well done just about everything that they would have wanted to do. And see if Bruce Weber will agree with that as he stops with Jason King.
Bruce, you obviously weren't very happy with your team after yesterday's practice, but how encouraged are you right now with their energy and focus?
I think we started a little slow, a little sluggish, and then we picked it up defensively. We held them to 29. The big thing is transition, and we know they're an explosive team. They can come back very quick. Got to keep Pierre under wraps. There's no doubt about that, and rebound.
Baylor with a bit of a size advantage, but you guys are right there with him rebounding-wise. Jordan Enriquez a big reason for that. He's had an up-and-down year. What's he doing to impress you today?
I just think he's ready to play, and I told you he's a little better with big guys, and he's done a good job, just being our backstop to our defense.
Bruce, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, Jason, thanks. 38-29, Kansas State over Baylor at halftime. And now we'll go to the studio with Kara Capuano and Adrian Branch with a Sports Center U halftime report. Kara?